I have been through all the packages now. I've nipped them open and taken any protective wrap off of them and so on, and I haven't checked the sprues real well. From what I can see, I would say they're probably on par for having flashing as the same as the Bismarck. In other words, they're pretty good. There's the odd little place that I thought, oh my goodness, this got a lot of flashing, like right here on the bow. I thought this was flashing, but it's not. It's it's actually supposed to be there. We'll take a close look at that later. But before we get going and we actually take these out of the packages so we can see them, one of the viewers has this very same book that I've got, and he sent me a note here, and I have not checked yet. I like to do everything live online, and that way my surprise or pleasure or dismay or whatever is genuine. It's not fake. Now, he was mentioning here that in pages 22 through 34, that the images appeared to be badly washed out. Okay, let's just take a quick look here. And this is the first time I've actually seriously looked into this book since we got it. We'll be looking into it more, obviously, because it's on the hood. Okay, page 22. Let's have a little peek here. A brand new book. 21, 22. Well, I can kind of see what he's talking about there. So let me move it up so that the camera can catch it. Yeah, it's a little bit faded. The contrast is very bad, I would say, on that one. All right, 22. Yeah, I can see what he's talking about here. From my darkroom days, I would call this sort of thing muddy. In other words, when you would put too much light on the paper, and then put it in the decal, it would come up muddy before you had a chance to dip it into the stop. That's not too bad though. I mean, I've seen worse. Keep going here. Yeah, they're just not. There's just something not quite right there. Maybe instead of using number 3 paper that they should have, they used number 1 or something, you know, and there's just no contrast there. It's not bad. Well, this one here is a little bit washed out. In fact, right there, I don't know what happened there. Okay, 34. So okay, yeah. So I can see what you were talking about there, my friend. I wouldn't say I'm happy with it. I'm not going to return this book or ask for another one. I can see the detail I need to see, but it is true that the pictures just aren't there. However, let me grab this book over here. This was that other one that we had. Now, I would sooner have what's in this book than this sort of thing. If you remember, I was complaining about these being I felt they were just way too dark. And I even asked my son about them. He's in the printing business, and he came over and looked at it. And he couldn't come to any definitive conclusion as to why these were so dark. These ones aren't too bad. Anyway, yeah, something like this is just a little bit too dark. You don't get to see the detail in the dark areas. However, yeah. So I see what you're talking about there in your book. Well, you saw mine. It's up to you. I'm gonna keep mine. Don't know what else to say here. Anyway, let's take some of these out of the packages and have a little close look. Here we go. This is Sprue A, and I labeled every single one here. Now this one here is, I noticed it's kind of warped. You know, notice that? It's kind of warped. I don't think it's going to affect any of this stuff, but the sprue itself is... now, mind you, when I first got this out of the package, it was wrapped up kind of tight with some sort of protective styrofoam. And it could be that it was wrapped up when the sprue was still, you might say, hot. That's the only thing I can think of. Okay, enough talk here. Let's just reposition the camera and take a look at some of this stuff. The detailing looks pretty good. It's, you know, the real fine details there. Well, you can't see them. Let me readjust the camera. It has been suggested to me on several occasions, actually, that I start renaming my my videos. In other words, now that we're starting the hood, change it. Like this is episode number 520. Well, you know, call it Hood 101 or something like that. Yeah, I could do that, but it's this is a, to me, it's a daily vlog, VLOG, video log. Yeah, that's what this has become for me. So I just keep on going, and that's probably the way it's going to go. And yeah, maybe doing it the other way is a good idea. Right now we're on my channel, okay? And I have put up hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos. Now, you want to find a particular video, like in this case, the most recent one? Well, probably most of you already know this. Okay, you've clicked on videos, right? And then on the right-hand side here, you see it says sort by. Go date added newest. Ta-da! Here we go. They're all in order with the most recent one. Okay, and here's yesterday's. Yeah. Anyway, just thought I'd mention that. Thank you for suggesting that I rename this or put them into some sort of playlist or something like that, but that's not the way I do it. I'm kind of old and stubborn. As some of you probably caught on when we were talking about the clear coating. In fact, I actually offended one viewer, and I'm sorry about that. Anyway, let's get on to looking at the sprues here. Yeah. Now, if I don't talk about something while I'm thinking about it, I'll forget. So things get a little bit disjointed sometimes. Well, that's the way my vlogs go. Anyway, somebody was mentioning, and I had noticed it as well, that when I had thinned this out really well, like in other words 40% thinner and 60% clear, and somebody else was suggesting 50-50. Anyway, the airbrush did a really good job with this flat clear right here when it was thinned right out. It's actually quite good. I've got dust built up in there right now, I know. But anyway, yeah, I just want to mention that this clear does work better if it is really thinned out. Anyway, now let's look at these. Okay, here we are. We're still on Sprue A, and this is the one that's kind of warped. I know from your angle it might not look like it, but it's kind of dished like this right here. And I did eyeball along these parts here, and these are still straight. So it's only this stringer, you might call it, that's bent. Anyway, enough about that. You notice the rudder here. There's only one rudder on this ship, and one of the viewers was suggesting that when I mount the rudder on the ship, I set it so that it's turning somewhat to port. And there's a good reason for that. I knew what his reasoning was, and we'll talk about that when we get to the rudder, if I remember. Anyway, let's turn this around here. Some of these parts are very, very small, very delicate. Whoops, gotta quit bumping it. And I'm thinking of this one right here. I think I'm going to slip the macro lens on and just show you, I believe that this is not flashing that we're looking at. I think it's actually supposed to be molding. Yeah, I'll put the macro lens on. We'll look at this little part right there. Now, the part that I'm talking about is this piece that I'm touching right now with the head of the pin. this little protrusion that's coming out. But looking at it up close, I am now thinking that maybe that is a piece of sprue or flashing. That, well, not so much. Yeah, I guess it'd be like flashing because it's not supposed to be there. Obviously, this part and this part is supposed to be there. That's part of the sprue, as well as this over here. Now, this little thing on the end here, I don't think that's supposed to be there. I do believe that's what you might call flashing. But the part itself is very, what I would call clean. It's going to take very, very little scraping along the sides to remove the seam, which at the moment I can't even see. Maybe once I nip it off of here, I'll be able to see it better. But I'm actually quite pleased with the small, delicate parts. I did see one, though, that had a bit of flashing on it. We'll probably come to it eventually. This is Sprue H, and there's actually 3 of these. And of course, these are our main gun turrets. And you'll notice there is detailing on the top. That's kind of nice. It's not quite as pronounced as it was on the Bismarck, but then I think on the Bismarck it was a different sort of thing going on the real ship as well. Anyway, now on the other end here, I'll turn this around. Okay, obviously these are the gun barrels. And speaking of gun barrels, there might be a surprise in store for us. We'll know probably within a month. Have to watch the mail. Anyway, yeah, Sprue H. Sprue B. Sprue C. Now, Sprue G, there's actually 4 of these. Lots of little parts. Lots of nice detailing in the life rafts. Oh, this little part here got broken off. At least it didn't break off where it's going to hurt anything. Okay. And the F sprue. And there's 3 of these. Sprue D. And once again, I'm seeing nice detailing on the deck of the lifeboat here, or motor launch. Same thing here. Sprue E. And there are 2 Sprue E's. The J sprue. You know, I'm thinking maybe I should take this off right now. And I'm going to put it with the other 2 from the the one from the Rodney and the Bismarck. Looks like it's pretty much the same size, same style of type and everything. Yeah, probably not going to use it though. Okay, we're down to, at least for packages that is, the larger pieces like the Superstructure. And I'm noticing that once again, there does not seem to be as much detail molded into the sides as there was on the Bismarck. Now, maybe as one of the viewers mentioned to me before, that's the way it was. He used the word featureless, and it could be that just wasn't a whole bunch of stuff on the sides, or it could be that the aftermarket kits will have stuff that you glue on there. I don't know. It's going to look fine though. Okay, see what else we got here. Okay, the main deck, I believe this is the stern. And I'm noticing that there's a lot of pieces that are already molded in that, may not have been molded in on the Bismarck. See along here. Yeah, I do believe this is the stern, but I'm not sure. Okay, I'm sure it was the stern now because this is clearly the bow. See where the anchor's chain goes down. I think this is part of what you might call the midsection. A lot of places we're going to be using the deck tan. And once again, we got lots of little places where the stuff's already molded in. Yeah, it's going to have to maybe paint those so that they stand out. And here again we've got more midsection superstructure, I guess. I hope this isn't coming too badly out of focus on you. Yeah, lots of detail there. Now we got a whole bunch of little pieces here. I think I'll just take them out and maybe put them on the rotator, and we'll just rotate them around and look at them. Possibility we may not be needing the propellers. This was the smallest of the pieces that was in those packages. I think it's probably a ventilator of some kind. I'm trying to envision a 200 scale person standing beside it. I do believe these are supposed to represent like little doors that open up. Yeah, it looks like a ventilator screen on the side there. Now there's two of these, and I thought at first they were both the same, and I thought, oh, I'll just show one. But then I was noticing that the other one is slightly different. And here's the other one. It's got a little box of some sort on the side there. You get the light just right, you can see that there's like a little door or something. I think they probably tried to make this as realistic as possible. But here again, the sides are what I call, and also that other viewer, featureless. There's no life preservers or anything like that molded into the sides. We're working our way up to the larger pieces. Now, this part right here on the front, I don't know, is that flashing or is that supposed to be a light? I don't want to go nipping it off until I find out. I think it's supposed to be there. And here's a rather unusual shaped one. I guess we'll know what these pieces are once we go to put it on. This one's got some nice detailing on the sides there. See, like ladders or something, or pipes going up the side. Okay, I like that. And the largest one. I'm guessing that on the real ship that piece might be, maybe 30 feet tall from the bottom here to the top. Okay. Now I wasn't going to show the propellers because I got a feeling we're not going to be using these. They are counter-rotating. If you notice that this one, the pitch is opposite to the pitch on this one. And I think it was Nigel drew my attention to the fact that if I understood correctly, the manual tells you to put them on wrong. So I've already checked for photographs to see which way they're supposed to go on. Yeah. Now for a minute there I thought we were done, but we're not. Okay. Clearly that's our anchor chain. And the propeller shafts. Now let's take a look at the photo etch. I still have the protective plastic on there. These may not show up too well. Now there are two of this sheet. I am noticing, with you might say a bit of pleasant surprise, where some of the railings are already cut to the right length. In other words, you don't take your generic railings. You notice that the space from this post to this post is less than from this post to this post. And I imagine this probably has to be bent at the post, I'm just guessing. And here again, there's some more railings that are custom made. So that's kind of nice. With the Bismarck, we had to use the same type of railing for the whole thing, if you remember. Now this is sheet E. Might not be able to read that, but I'm noticing that the railings are on this sheet. At first I thought it was going to be all just a bunch of railings, like there was 4 or 5 sheets like this for the Bismarck, and they were all the same, remember? Here they're different. Like it says 12, 11, 10. In other words, you know what that must mean? That maybe the manual with this kit, it shows you where to put the railings and which ones. I would think, otherwise why would they be numbered? Here's number 7. Yeah, I sure hope so anyway. Now this is it for the decals. And if you'll recall, I got myself all bent out of shape about not putting the swastika on the Bismarck. Well, I don't have too much of a problem with these ones here. The reason being is that this part of the flag looks a lot like the old Canadian flag. So, being as I'm Canadian, I'm probably going to be able to, get past it. Anyway, that's it for the decals. Okay, this page, and this page all had to do with checking off our parts. And everything is here. If you remember, everything was in the kits with the Rodney and Bismarck as well. Nothing was missing. Now, for a while there, we thought that something was missing with the Bismarck. What was it? Oh, the anchor chains. Yeah, they were in that little bonus kit that had the see-through turret that Tony's building for us. Or for himself, actually. Sorry, Tony, I didn't mean you had to send it back. Anyway, well, I do hope you send pictures. However, yesterday I had said we might start, or indicated we might start on step number 1. However, that would be the J sprue. These parts here have to go in. But what I want to do first is I want to take out a little bit of time here. It'll probably take me about a couple hours anyway, and photograph every single page nice and sharp, so that later on I can sort of crop in on a certain little section and it's going to look good. Yeah, the same way as I did with the Bismarck and Rodney manuals. So that's what I'm going to do for the rest of today. Tomorrow we'll probably be getting into step 1. Yeah, thanks for watching, and all being well, we'll be seeing you tomorrow. And yeah.